All right, so we are live on Facebook and YouTube, waiting for this thing to connect to Instagram, and there it is. So now I can definitely go live, and then
hit him with it, Travis. We are live, baby.
you know what? I haven't said that in a while.
I know it was one of my favorite things. I always lip synced it with you, bro.
I have not said that in a while.
Oh man.
Yeah. So all right, so wait. Hold on, this might be difficult. Hold on.
I just got all the notifications.
So this is just a little bit weird. All right, Instagram. I got to figure this out because I don't want to hear myself respond on Instagram like this is weird. So can I mute this particular
here we go
tab? I'm still getting used to this.
We back to the black screen.
Can I mute this tab?
Oh wow.
I can mute that tab. And
I said screen, big dog. I did it right.
Already?
Yo, it happened already, man.
Oh my god.
We didn't even get 20 minutes in.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, good time.
Oh, he has like the worst luck with this, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That made the end of the year recap show. I could not stop laughing at that.
Oh, I was dying. It was a great time.
Every time he tried to start talking, it just shut off.
And it was right when he started. It's like, all right, so boom.
Yeah, that made me crack up, man. Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. We will be right with you.
Jeff,
having a wonderful
Jeff, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You're like the only person I've seen that has like up on their school that many NBL world titles.
Oh, my man got a gaggle of them joints.
No, like it's crazy. Oh, I didn't even know there was more. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those. How many overalls are there? 4?
5.
5. Excuse me. I was trying to count quickly.
I had to put that one out there.
yeah, right.
Yeah. No,
excuse me. 5. Excuse me.
The only one. So yeah.
No.
Did you get one of the WSKF ones?
I never did WKS. Well, the one year they did it. So yeah. No.
Well, yeah. I was just because I knew you were in AKAs that year. At the end of the year for the thing.
No,
yeah.
I was not.
I only did
one WSKF that year, and that was Dixieland.
Okay.
That was
04, Angel.
Yeah,
were they competing with NBL at that time or no?
Yeah, it was the one year they all broke off from NBL before a couple of them went over to NASCA.
Yeah, okay.
I did Super Grands that year. What was funny was that all those people, a good amount of those promoters that left were all still at Super Grands that next year in South Carolina. So
I remember in South Carolina.
And that was a fun one too, man. Both the Myrtle Beach ones were fun. The first one was better because the hotel was just better, and it was
it?
A little bit nicer. I mean, anytime you're on 3 different floors or 4 different floors to compete on, that's not
backtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Chris, how many NBLs did you do? How many Super Grands did you do?
None.
One.
Right?
You only
did one. I did Panama City.
Oh, 2002,
my senior year. Yeah.
Yep.
It wasn't big in Florida.
I was the only one I did. I lost
your senior year of high school.
02? Yeah.
Yeah, but I was started college then.
No, that year I graduated high school that year. It was at the end of the year, so I did it after. I was in college.
I went during that was like that was Thanksgiving week. So like I just finished finals and then I flew over and did that. Like I missed the first day or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we've had a good one. Session.
We had a good little talk session.
There you go. All right. I'm glad you guys got to catch up and everything. All right. So people who we are live for a specific reason. Because I just saw this and I wanted to get these guys talk on this.
Because I saw last week when it
I've been so busy. Like holidays and everything. I've been out of it. I haven't really been paying attention to what's going on in the martial arts world. But we have a good topic, and so we are here on Main Point. Okay, we did this to discuss something that came up. I'm going to show the video of it.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna show the video of it. I'm gonna let we're gonna hear it real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. And let's see.
traditional jiu-jitsu guys, boom, you're gone.
Can y'all hear
You're
this?
outdated, including
No,
myself. I had to
can't
learn
hear
it. The worst rule that's hurting our martial art right now is that it's a 5-second ground and pound. So what do they do? They get in a fetal position and they're rewarded by surviving. How in the world? You're in a fetal position. Fight is over. TKO, you gave up. I'm going to pitch this rule. As long as you're punching, we're going to keep going. What is that going to do? It's going to evolve the martial art. Because the karate guys, all the karate guys got to learn how to get up off the ground safely. It's going to evolve them for a real fighting situation.
So basically,
that's what martial arts is about.
Last week,
we can't reward these guys for curling up in a fetal position. That can never happen. Yes. We need to change a few rules immediately. Why? There are two objectives with rules. People don't think about this. One, we need safety for the fighters.
But
the rules have to
he was talking about how he wants to change certain things in the karate combat.
In a real fighting situation. So I'll give you a for instance, right?
Yeah,
I've been in jiu-jitsu 25 years. Leg locks used to be illegal.
I'll stop sharing it. Skip it. Because since we can't hear him, we just see him going off.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard him.
Yeah.
No, we heard him on our side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why we were like, "Why are you talking?"
Yeah, we couldn't.
Oh, so yeah.
I couldn't hear you. He's still talking. Oh, okay,
yeah, we couldn't hear
because
you.
I couldn't hear it, so I was like, okay, maybe they can't hear it. So whatever, man. It's interesting. All right, but he was talking, and he basically was saying that he wants to get rid of the 5-second rule inside of karate combat. And I found it interesting because one of the things he had mentioned, like all the people, whenever they talk about combat sports, I instantly talk about in a real situation, like a real fight. You know what I mean? He don't want to reward them for, just basically covering it up and things like that. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this real quick about this.
Yep. All right. I'll go first then, because I'm probably a different viewpoint than everybody else. So I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I'm just going to say that. But in this case, I'm also
okay, Cat Williams, just start that way. No,
don't do that. I was just listening to that today. Don't do that. Don't do that.
My goodness.
But I can't stand the 5-second rule. All right. It drives me nuts when immediately goes to the ground and then everyone's just covering up and finding different things. To me, it makes us as karate guys look less than, in my opinion. So I do agree that, you got to learn to fight your way up. With the 5-second rule, it makes it where, well, you know what? I'm not even going to try to defend myself. Well, you're defending yourself, but I'm not even going to try to do something, in that. Because here's the deal. What I don't like is the mindset that people think, oh, well, karate has nothing to do with the ground game. Well, all right, then obviously you don't know anything about martial arts or karate. Every move we have is a takedown. All right. A C-step, especially if you're Shotokan, every move is a takedown, right? And then a follow-up. And there's also a lot of ground kicks and a lot of defenses from the ground of how to get up. Like just again going over Unsu. that whole form is how to go to the one kick up, stand up, how to get off the ground. So I feel like we need to show that. So I agree with him on this. I know how people are going to take it. But I do think that to evolve the fighters forward and to make this look better, yes. Are you going to get some MMA guys that are just going to ground and pound? Maybe, but we can't do. But the 2-knee rule has to be pushed more, right? So
2 knees on the mat. 2 knees on the mat.
Yes, they also have where
immediate stop.
Knees on the mat.
Supposed to be.
And it's supposed to stop. It's just one knee and one leg, 1 foot, right?
If you're knee on belly or 1 knee on the floor and 1 foot has to be up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do we feel like that's going to get taken away though too? Chris, you have a little bit more insight on that. What do you think on that?
Well, for me, it's a 3-way street though. If we're gonna do 5 seconds, it has to be ruled a fighter can't continue if all they do is tuck up and ball up, because that's where we talk about. We look at MMA and stuff like that. We talk about intelligently defending yourself. If all you're doing is curled up in the fetal position for 5 seconds, I don't really think that's a defense. I hope I don't get knocked out right now.
Yeah.
Also, in the beginning of karate combat, you weren't allowed to kick up and fight back from the ground.
Oh, right.
So if you are allowing longer term ground and pound, are we going to see the 2 knees? Because if we allow the 2 knees, then what separates it from MMA getting inside control, holding down, and just start pounding people, which
just about to say
isn't
that.
necessarily what we would consider karate, traditional karate. I do agree with ground fighting, and people have to learn how to do that. I do agree with sweeps and throws and all of that. But what's going to be the limit? And I think whatever the rule has to be, there's going to have to be a consistency with that. If someone puts their second knee down on the floor, even for a second, then they got to stop and stand them back up. If you are going to allow them to ground and pound the entire time, which standing up or hitting somebody while they're on the ground, then you should be allowed to up kick. You should be allowed to grab on and take down and re-establish yourself as a defense. Because Jeff, you hit it right on the head. In my Japanese karate style, in Yoshikain and Goju and in Shotokan, we do sweeps, we do takedowns, we do ground and pounds. There's a lot of that in martial arts. So I don't see why it can't be in there. It just has to be consistent to not turn it directly just into MMA ground and pound. And that's what kind of has to be, I think, kept at its purest. Yes, it can happen. I do believe that if you are going to keep any ground and pound, let them do it all, or completely get rid of the ground and pound and only do like a Sancho, where as soon as you throw you hit the ground, you stop, you stand back up, and then you get back to work.
Kind of like a shoot box type.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, I'm weird. I'm in a weird hybrid space. I think if you're gonna do it for real. Make them get up. If they turtle up and fall up, then get rid of them, but also not make it a real MMA thing, or completely get rid of the ground and allow throws and sweeps, but then stop it, start back up like Muay Thai, Sancho, and the rest of them. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But whatever they decide, it has to be consistent, because you can't say, ground and pound for as long as you want, allow knee on belly and 1 foot up, and then you get some guy in side control just hammer fisting the crap out of somebody. Because what's the difference between karate combat and an MMA organization other than submissions at this point?
Other than submissions, I mean, that was all the thing is.
Which in real karate, we do submissions too. We do arm locks, wrist locks, we do breaks, we do all those things. So, I mean, obviously MMA really comes back from Japanese jujutsu and original karate and, Tomarite and all the rest of that stuff, but we can dive into that later.
I actually, so I think it always is going to come down to what is the direction that they're going for. So I see karate combat right now as just that hybrid combat sport between MMA, between full contact Muay Thai, kickboxing rules, and then it kind of like what we said. It could be Sancho, but we're adding in that ground and pound element. One thing that I think is taken away from them is people are using so many different techniques to the point of, we say, Nick, now I think everyone knows they don't want to be in the fetal position getting ground and pound. So everyone's trying to pull guard right away. As soon as they get down, they're trying to pull guard. And now it's just becoming someone that's just going to hold you. And now they're just going to stand up anyways, because everyone's going to have 2 knees on the ground. They're trying to pass over full guard. It's starting to look a lot like MMA now. And I think and that's the thing. The rules say when you're against the wall, you're not a grounded opponent. So you can be attacked. It's at an incline.
Like ground, then
standing straight. All right. So I'm just going to ask this question then. So should you allow them to kick while they're on the ground?
When they're against the pit wall, they actually can. You can throw a full knee against the pit wall. When
I'll caught your boy with the spin kick on the wall.
Yeah,
on the ground.
Yeah. As soon as you touch the ground, you can't. Because
you're saying that. I know what the rule is. I'm saying, should you allow that?
No.
Why not?
To the body? Why not to the body?
Ooh.
Right. Just like MMA, you're not allowed to stomp on somebody's head or soccer kick the face most of the time.
Depends on where
That's more like real life. That's more like real life fight now, isn't it?
In real life, I'm allowed to bite you and gouge out your eyes, and I'm punching you in the crotch. Bro, I'm throwing dirt in your face. Like, let's
spin an axe kick somebody on the ground.
Fam, let's get rid of the it's a real fight thing, because it's not. Any combat sport that has rules isn't a real fight.
Yeah, there's a referee,
let's throw that nonsense talking point out the window, because honest to God, that's not a real thing.
Because that just, in a real street fight, whenever somebody says that, it irks me very much.
Because there's no referee in a real street fight, and that's where we gotta take that out. We gotta stop.
I'm biting you, bro. I'm throwing dirt in your face. Like, I'm poking
in a real street fight,
and there's usually multiple people.
A chair, a knife, like there's no rules.
There's usually more than one person too. You guys,
exactly. It gets into a whole bunch of things. So I hate that discussion of
But
if it's a real fight. So let's
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it more
yeah.
like a real
I'm with
fight.
you with
Like,
that one.
I don't
I
like
think
that.
all of us are fans of one FC. And,
Yes.
And,
And like Justin said, pride.
Yeah, and they
Sorry, I had to
do.
throw Justin out there.
They
That's my
do
guy.
kicks to the head on the ground, and I haven't
Yes.
seen it be a big issue, honestly. Like,
and they do knees. That's how Demetrius Johnson got caught.
Knees,
He got caught on a knee.
and kicks to the head of a grounded opponent, but no elbows.
That's right. No.
So
okay,
That's
so
the
now
rule. They follow the
so now
pride
let me
rules.
so now let me
Wait,
ask you.
wait. You can knee him while you're on the ground.
Yeah,
But
but
no
you
elbows,
can't elbow
because
him.
in the Asian side of it, on most of the Asian martial arts, that's just blood.
yeah.
They don't want people to lose by cuts and blood. They want you to lose because you got out techniqued, you got outclassed, you got knocked out. So they don't want ground and pound, just rabid elbows and splitting your head open and you lost because you got cut versus losing because you lost the fight. That's their idea.
Stoppage on that
and
is
usually
different.
if you get kneed in the head on the ground or soccer kicked on the ground, it's pretty much 1 or 2 and it's all over. They're stopping it.
Yeah,
The
So
elbows,
what I'm hearing,
you've seen people.
So what I'm hearing is, Jeff, you want to get rid of the 5-second rule, not necessarily the grounding. Angel, you want to what? You want to get rid of.
I was saying this. I was saying if they keep saying it's blood sport and this is a stand-up martial art, get rid of ground fighting altogether. If that's what we're gonna go for,
okay,
get rid of it altogether.
All right,
because
so
the last one they kept saying this is blood sport, this is the best stand-up martial art, with the commentators. If we're gonna follow that, like I said, follow direction. Let's just take out ground fighting altogether. If that's what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do.
And Chris, you were kind of in between, like, are you saying you want to keep the 5-second rule? That's what I'm just kind of figure out which.
No.
wrote.
If I said it's got to be one or the other, it's got to be no ground or give him the ground and pound and let him do it. It's for me, it's just whatever it is. I don't like the 5-second hybrid rule where you only have a certain amount of time, because whether it's 5 seconds or 7 seconds or 10 seconds, if I know all I have to do is just last and not get knocked out, I can stand back up. Then one, that's not exciting. 2, it makes people look not as good as they are, because you got people who are stand-up strikers who are some of the best stand-up strikers in the world, but have never been in an MMA fight. They don't really know the ground and pound that well, so they're just going to hold on and hug, or they're just going to tuck up and wait out their 5 seconds. So I don't like the time limit on that. Either it's full ground and pound, making sure the rules are there, or get rid of it, allow the throws, and then stand them back up.
All right, so let me ask this. So if there's no 5 seconds, no time limit route, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
How is the person who's on the ground going to be able to get back up? Because I mean, honestly, if you're starting to get
grab a hold of a leg and build yourself back up. You can wall walk up the cage.
I was just about to say that you can wall walk up the pit.
The same things that you do in MMA.
Right.
Someone literally grab them and sweep them.
Yeah, but you're not allowed. You're not supposed to be allowed to grab inside of karate combat, correct?
Yeah, you can.
They allow grabbing the belt.
Yeah, they're allowing you to pull guard.
You're allowed to grab and then throw, but you're not allowed to just like clinch.
You're allowed to. Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
And then when you clinch, what happens?
You could break. You can attack off the clinch. You can attack off the break.
You get like two
break you.
Seconds to dirty boxer rabbit punch. You're not.
Yeah,
you're not
that's what I was gonna say.
You're not allowed to grab a knee. If you grab, you have to let go before you knee.
To then throw the knee.
You're not allowed to
I can't pull you into the strike. That's the rule. I can't pull you into the strike. Right. Again, see, this is my issue. So this is what I was saying earlier, right? Because I was saying if we're gonna take it out, let's just take it out altogether. My example for that is a takedown. This is a very interesting thing I saw in the last show specifically. Now I'm starting to see everyone shooting in for double legs. That's being
not allowed in karate combat.
Which is the rule is you cannot shoot for a double leg. You can hold the legs, trip to a takedown. I can sweep you. I can judo throw you even. That's fine. Right. But I cannot physically duck the crown of my head to below your waist, grab your legs, and do a double leg takedown. That's what we're starting to see everyone do now.
Well,
and that's also
that rule has not been followed.
Yeah, so I can't. So once
you can't go under, grab a leg, and lift up. You cannot.
He said below your waist, but I'm saying if you go into their chest and then grab their legs and then
that's not because that's underhooks. That's underhooks.
You and bear hugging you down is technically allowed.
Yes, because that's underhooks. I have underhooks on you.
Grab both
legs. Wait. I I'm saying if you're long enough and you're grabbing somebody's legs and picking them up, but your head is in
Who you fighting?
chest.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? What the hell?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Some people got Michael Payne's got long arms. I'm just saying.
You are correct about that.
You know what I mean? Okay, Raymond versus Agaev, right? Raymond versus Agaev.
Well,
Agaev is
so that's
lower.
my fight.
But he shot in though. He shot in for double leg every time.
That was the first. That was the very first fight where they did not penalize somebody. When Raymond would blitz, he would duck, grab his leg, and lift him up. That was the very first fight where they did not penalize for that. I'm kind of a little salty just on that one rule because they had us in the fighters meeting. No double leg takedowns. You cannot grab anybody under the belt without like a one hand above, like an overhook, and then a leg and a throw, like Uchimata or whatever. So it's been slowly moving towards that. And now you got like the Sam and Ross, where you got, all right, I'll clinch and I'll grab you and I'll lean you against the wall, and then I'm going to slide down and then I'll punch you a little bit. So it's already, with the takedowns, gone away from just sweeps, trips, and throws to we'll allow a single or a double leg if it's not that bad, and then we'll allow the bear hug. That's my worry with the 5 second or the total ground and pound rule, because what is going to be consistent? What we have a rules meeting. How is that going to work moving forward? And is it going to be consistent from each fight or each show? Because we were talking a little bit beforehand where there were some things that weren't super consistent, like the gloves from the last one. I know why that happened, and there was some things behind the scenes with shipping and all that stuff, and they had to make something work, and everybody had to have new gloves because that's how commissions work. But where is that going to be a hard stop and a hard no? And what is that going to look like? Or is it just going to keep muddying the waters until we get whatever we want and then figure it out? Because what the original intent for the original Karate Combat season 1 and season 2 looks so drastically different than what we've seen in the last 2 seasons.
Right.
Well, what is the vision? Whatever the vision is, stay consistent on it. And then at the end of that season to the next season, slowly make your
revamps.
And I think that's it comes down to all combat sports. What are the rules? Are they going to be consistently followed? And are they going to change from here to there? So far, some of this has been just like what we deal with in sport karate. Some things have been different each fight card.
Just about to say that
here and there, and so it's basically turning into a professional sport karate with slightly modified rules.
Yeah,
and I just want that because to be controlled and consistent. But I'm
you're one of the biggest guy. You're one of the biggest ones, Trav, that always talks about, and I'm just saying, like, off of like the talks we've had about just like the professionalism of just sport karate. It would get higher if we had a consistent look and we're always being on the same page. Just off like the little production stuff off of just this last Karate Combat, it left someone like me who knows what it looks like. And even if I didn't, because I watched it with someone who never saw Karate Combat or doesn't watch it that intently, they were asking questions of, why is there different gloves? Why are they both wearing white? I don't understand this. I thought there's supposed to be a red side and a blue side, a black side and a white side. This doesn't make any sense to me. So then it leaves those questions, it leaves those answers. And like how we said, just it being consistent. What is the direction? Because now with the takedown rule, I mean, it got to a point we started seeing suplex. Like Bas Rutten is over here saying like, oh, he did a belly to belly. Like how are we do? You can't like we're starting to get way off of this, and that's where the hard line is. That's the only thing. That's where the hard line is, because it's always the same thing with karate. We have so many great things that all these other sports don't have, but we lack the small, finer details that can push us to the next level. On the Logan Paul podcast, he's over there saying that was probably he said it out loud, like that was the probably most gruesome combat fighting I've ever seen in person, whether MMA, boxing, kickboxing, anything. But then we don't have the production value stuff that should match it. And that goes into the rules. That goes into what are we doing with ground and pound? Are we going to make it 5 seconds? Do you have to pull? Are you going to pull guard? Do you have to physically fight your way out of it to then show that you're like kind of like how we said, Herb Dean, what's his first thing we always hear him say whenever someone's getting beat? You got to show me something.
You got to defend yourself. You got to move. I got to see you.
So if we get rid of ground fighting, what makes it different than kickboxing or whatever else, you know?
I think what will make it different.
Right now, it's the calf kick, you know.
Yes, the calf kick is revolutionizing it. Yeah, the calf kick is revolutionizing everything. I think the biggest thing that makes it different between even just watching one FC Muay Thai and MMA gloves, what makes it different from that is the pit and what they're doing, what they're allowing in the rule set. Because they're not allowing elbows, which is like one of the biggest things. You can't throw an elbow, whether it's going in for offensive attack or off the clinch. You can't throw an elbow at all. Right. With one FC, you could throw elbows. It's a Muay Thai fight in MMA gloves. I think the difference now is going to be just showing pure karate in the trips, the takedowns, the sweeps. That's going to be the main thing.
Really, like an outsider, even a martial artist, they don't really know the difference between Muay Thai and K1. You know, you really and I try to explain it to them like, oh, so there's not really much difference. I'm like,
you have to know it.
You have to know it and kind of grow up in it and watch it to get the difference, you know. Because even a lot of those guys do both, especially in ONE FC, they do both.
Yeah.
And they'll be throwing takedowns and stuff, and none of that counts. It's just kind of all right.
It's just for the show. It's just just the mental side of the opponent. It's the mental side of the opponent.
Also wear and tear, really. I mean, you get thrown down.
It's energy levels. If I'm not allowed to take you down in Muay Thai, or I'm only allowed to sweep or trip, and I freaking hip toss you.
Yeah.
Now you're tired. Now you got to get back up. Now it's
you're starting to see ONE FC. You're starting to see ONE FC start taking fighters off of Lithway. They're starting to take fighters from Lithway, where they're doing just like the old school kickboxer. Wrapping rope gauze, and that's it. They're pulling fighters from there because you can make the easy transition with the rules. You can't necessarily say that with some of the guys that they're getting from MMA to come over to karate combat, because you're saying I can throw the knee, but I can't pull you into the knee. I have to throw the knee off of a release, right? I can take you. It could be a ground and pound, but I can't put both my knees on the ground. I can't put you in side control to throw my ground and pound. I have to put knee on belly, one posture up. It's like you're telling them you have
bending
to
over.
Yeah. Which I mean, at that point, so like what he was saying was, Trav, was like if you're down, the downed opponent could put their heels on your hip, kind of like if they're gonna do butterfly guard almost, and you could just ground and pound over that. But realistically, the downed opponent, he should be
got it.
Yeah.
Those are the grapples, Trav. Those are the grapples.
What are we doing here?
Realistically, though, the down opponent should be able to do a trip takedown as their defense. What do you think, Chris?
That's all.
You should.
100%. I think if you're gonna, and again, if we keep the ground and pound rule, which again I have no problem with it, I just want if fighters on the bottom, are they allowed to
be fair on both sides? Yeah.
Are they allowed to, dragon tail from there? They get knocked down, they roll over, and they up kick and old school turn and side kick. Are they allowed to do these things? And if they do that, are the guys who are standing up allowed to, what are their rules going to be? Are they allowed to be kicked into the chest, or are they allowed to punch? Whatever my thing is, whatever the rules are, it has to be done.
Yeah.
So
you don't want them,
what happens is
on the bottom, you don't want them to be weak. You want them to be power. You want to have power.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's not a fair fight. To be honest, it's really not a fair fight. You if you go down, you have all you could do is defense, and you can't even really do defense. You have to just survive, as Chris was saying. It's really not a fair fight. Like when you think about it, it's really not. You're gonna tell me when I go down, I can't defend myself by kicking up, by punching, but I have to just shrimp and move. I have to do an Imanari rule. I have to just spin around your leg, and I have to just hold you, almost kind of pull guard, but I can't physically attack. It gets. I mean, I get it. Don't get to the ground in the first place. But
so what stops somebody who's on the ground and somebody's about to attack them? They just, as soon as they go to the ground, they just grab their leg and hug them.
That's what we're starting to see.
That's what you're seeing.
That's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying
on the last card.
I'm saying, but my question at that point, even if there's no ground and pound 5-second rule or 10-second rule, and it's just letting them wail on them.
Yep.
At some point,
they break it up.
Yeah, they're gonna break it up. They're not going to let somebody just stand there on top of them and punch them like that. They're just gonna, especially if the person is moving, going in between their legs, and
because then
it's a clinch at that point.
I think you can still give the ref that authority.
His discretion. He can make that.
Stand them up. You know what I mean? Like if they're doing, honestly, Ross had probably the smartest defense.
Emanari rule. He went right into an Emanari rule. As soon as he goes down, an Emanari rule.
Yeah,
and it was smart. And when you think about it, I said it when I watched it.
That's like a half back spin, Travis. I know you're looking crazy. It's like a back spin.
Okay. Actually, you know what? That leads me into our next conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so I got one other conversation because I want you guys' take on it. One last one.
But it was smart though for Ross.
Headline.
It was smart for Ross to do that. Yeah, it was smart for Ross to do that though.
Yeah, sport jiu-jitsu guys, but I guarantee you, if that was a street fight, my man would never do that shit. You know what I mean? So why are we turning the sport into some type of weird spectacle where you can win a match off of your back, doing absolutely nothing? If I did nothing, what the fuck did he do? Pull guard from standing up. Don't just start the match on your butt. That should be deducted a point right out of the gate. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Never let another man drag you by your ankles in front of your loved ones and friends, because that is a disgrace.
What are your thoughts on the matchup?
The man can't drag his ass cheeks on the mat and think that's a win, doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, sport jiu-jitsu guys, but I guarantee you, if that was a street fight, my man never do that shit.
So I'm just curious. Was that a minority roll my man was doing on the ground?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was a boot scoop. It was a boot scoop.
Just say it was a scoot. It was a butt scoot.
He looked like one of those dogs trying to get off the dingleberry, just scooting around. That's one thing. And I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I hate that. Our school,
oh my God,
you don't pull guard.
Yeah, man.
So that's a takedown, and you're in a clinch, and you want to drag somebody down. There has to be a rule behind that. We take people down. You got to learn how to take down ankle picks, single legs, double legs, Russian ties. Like you got to do different stuff like that. Like
that makes sense.
We won't like we make fun of you if you're a guard puller and a boot scooter. Like,
well, it's even, but it's
I
even
agree
like,
with Sterling on that one.
I agree too.
But that's starting to become what's taught because some schools are starting from a knee already. You're already starting from a knee, and you're already starting
because people suck at stand up and takedowns.
Yeah.
Well, and people are probably afraid of getting injuries and stuff. That's one of the ways. But the truth is, no one really works on the takedown. You know, and I'll be honest, it's easier to just start from your knee. But even from starting from your knee, you have to learn how to take someone down. Like you have to still control their head, control, push, pull, do something, pull guard. It's still
because you have to find the leverage point. You have to find the leverage point, and you don't.
What was that fight in? I think it was Aoki fighting in Strikeforce when he years ago, right? And it was like, what is this crap? What is he doing? You know, and that
he just sat on the ground and just crawled on his butt to try to get the guy to.
I was always a big Kawajiri fan. I always liked Kawajiri because he would take people down, and then Aoki would just scoot all the way across. I'm like, come on, man, what is this?
So let me ask you guys, with that right there, with that we just saw, right? What stops karate combat fighters from learning that?
That's what I'm saying. That's where I was going with this.
Because man
was basically on the ground and he just
he's just posturing up. He's just posturing up. That's all he's doing.
So that is allowing them to still punch and kick him.
Right. Yeah, that was a sport.
So that's why I'm a fan of combat jiu-jitsu. I'm not a pure jiu-jitsu fan anymore. Combat jiu-jitsu is where you allow palm strikes to ground an opponent. So if you try to do all that stupid boot scooting and a guy slaps you across the face, you get knocked out. But I think that's what would happen if they allowed stuff like that in jiu-jitsu.
Whoa!
There's so many jokes.
You try to go down for an ankle lock and you try to roll around and I just start slapping you in the face.
Power slapping somebody on the bottom. Like it's just
it's like power slap with jiu-jitsu. That's what it is. But hey, to be honest though, a palm. Damn, Trav.
It's all right.
Bye.
But a palm heel in combat jiu-jitsu, dude, like that. But it stops that. It stops that completely. Because then you have to
100% stop that.
To
so what Travis was getting to is what stops karate combat guys from doing that. They're still allowed to do ground and pound. So you're not just going to scoot around and move around and wiggle around. You have to actually do something because there's going to be somebody hitting you. But again, like what we were talking about earlier, I would rather it be a equal opportunity. If you hit me from standing up, I should be able to hit you while I'm on the ground. Otherwise, it's stupid.
Right.
It's a one-way thing. I'm rewarding the guy who can take the other guy down, and he's the only person that can get, or she is the only person that can get rewarded.
So we're saying
if you're only allowing one person to strike, then the 5 seconds makes more sense because if you can't knock me out in 5 seconds while you're standing up punching me and I'm not allowed to hit you back, then after 5 seconds, get back up. That's I think why the 5 second rule is a thing, because in the beginning they weren't allowing the downed opponent to kick or hit up. So You only had 5 seconds to hit them.
I don't understand that rule.
I kept saying that. I never understood that when they first season 1 and 2, you could not, when you were a downed opponent, you actually, it was almost like it kind of was. I think they said survive at one point. You just have to last the 5 seconds.
Crazy.
You could not throw up kicks. The one thing I want to ask you guys now is, because like now, Trev, you're making me think differently. Let's say with this President Awesome, right? He said this during the last show. He was saying now traditional karate and martial artists, and even like the true season 1, season 2 fans of Karate Combat are actually upset at him and upset with the organization because they're bringing in these MMA guys. They're bringing in people that aren't just, they're not even real. Like you're having guys that like, I took Taekwondo at 12.
Yep. Well, they don't have a black belt.
They don't even have a black belt.
I think a prerequisite, so now, you should have a black belt in a martial arts style. Kung Fu,
so
karate,
now,
Taekwondo, Tang Soo
So now they're saying, like, the issue is you're bringing in all these guys. We're getting away from what traditional karate and what Karate Combat is. And now we're moving into this MMA sub-realm hybrid fighting style. And that's, again, like we said, what's the direction? Because now I wonder if we start doing that, right? Could this be a reason why a lot of the original Karate Combat fighters are not there anymore? Because they did not learn, they did not change, they did not evolve in a way, because you weren't learning.
Because you haven't seen a lot of those guys from the first 3 seasons.
Haven't at all.
No,
at all. So what do you think, Trav?
Even Gaev hasn't fought since Raymond.
Yeah, he hasn't.
That is correct.
And he's the champ.
No, he fought one more guy after that.
Who he fought? Josh Quayhagen?
Quayhagen.
Yeah,
but he beat him.
You're right.
He beat him though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he beat him. He beat him.
He won.
But yeah,
he won the match. So,
hey,
but yeah,
look,
so
hey, it was touch and go at that last round. I was like, he might not make it out this round. But he won.
So yeah, so I wonder, like, do they need to now start putting, kind of like what you said, a prerequisite on for you to even be in this organization?
No.
What is
so?
Like,
here's the thing.
You don't think so?
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing that I think that a lot of people don't know that I think is actually happening. People don't want to lose. People don't want to take the challenge. People don't want to actually compete. The fact that Ross who is the champion at what, 185? Is it 185?
185.
185 had to go up to 205 to fight for a championship, or just to fight, just to get a fight. Because
get a fight. No. Let's be honest. He
just had to get a fight
for anybody.
He
had to get an ex-UFC guy up at 205 to get a fight.
Raymond's the same thing. Like he can't get a fight. There are certain things that happen. Like people are just not ready to take, and it's not because of they want to. That might be an excuse they're using of, hey, I don't want to fight because of, hey, I don't like the direction of. Okay, look. Fact of the matter is,
they don't want to.
I think it's a couple things. One, they don't want to take the chance of losing. I think that's the biggest thing. And they don't want to take the chance. Like there's a possibility you might get knocked out, you might get, laid out, whatever. I think some people are like that. The other people, and then the second thing is, I don't think they have people are looking at it like, that's not enough money for me to go that route. Right? Like they may be looking at it in that standpoint.
That's a good point.
Like the organization, like when you really start to look at the foundation of all of the other sports, every sport, you don't start with the highest paid people. You start with people who are lower. That's what they did when they originally started. They didn't start with the top competitors out of everything. They were building the sport. They were building the sport, grabbing people who, like, you want to fight, you want to do this, blah, blah, and they were building it up. But once they started to get some success, they started getting some money pumped into it and started the production. If you ever go there, you see how much money this thing costs, right? You actually see the amount of money that is being spent on this. So their overhead has to be huge. That Vegas, I'm just going to say, that Vegas show, they had to have lost a lot of money. They just had to have lost a lot of money. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know how much. I was pocket watching. I was looking at a lot of different things that were involved in it, So they had to probably took an L on it. It was probably going to be expensive because just thinking about the amount of people and the things that were in there. Plus, you look at it's Vegas, so I'm only assuming it might be a little bit charged a little bit more for that weekend or whatever the case may be, or that week.
Well, they had to get a new venue,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like that, when I look at just the fact of it, I just think that there's money being spent. Now, with that being said, why they can't get certain people? What is the benefit of it? To be honest with you, so you have to have some people who are warriors mentality, ready to fight at any time. I commend race fighter who took it on the day of. Yeah, Bruno. He took it on the day of, and it's just like, yo, all right, that's a big ask, right? Like just the next day, dude couldn't weigh in, right? I'm fighting. Okay, cool.
He was there to watch and coach the girl.
Yeah, so they had to feel something up, like so. And their roster can't be that much. I mean, that many people. Sometimes you see certain people fight, and then it'd be like 4, 5, 6 fights that you haven't seen in a while. Like, you haven't seen them.
No one has a record over 5 fights yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think the record is 5 fights.
Yeah,
which is wild. But I mean,
well,
at the end of the day,
thing too, when it first started, the first 2-3 seasons were all in Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or wherever else. So that has changed too. You know, some people haven't came over here. More have been in America, and then they've done the 2 in the DR, right?
Yep.
I don't think they did 1 in the DR, right?
I thought they
did 2.
They did 2
in the DR.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
those are the only 2
I think it's changed. That I think it's changed too, right? There's some that's changed too of who can get over here, who wants to do that. You know, especially
all of that.
Especially for the money, right? When you're adding flying from there to here, before when it was done and it wasn't live, it was just a thing. Okay, I can take this weekend, I can do this, I'll get paid. No one's going to know my result until 3-4 months later, sometimes more than that. You know, it's just a little different, right? It was a whole different mindset.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot that goes into it. They have to build their base even more, and if you alienate your base by trying to be,
I think,
trying to be MMA, you have to look.
Yeah,
you can't distinguish yourself from another sport if you're trying to be like that sport.
Yes, that's my thing.
That's
right?
true.
Like I get mad at. I even get mad at sport martial arts people. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna give this one little thing that I get mad at it. I get mad at it when we are fighting with our shirts off.
Oh,
it's just to me now you're making it look like MMA, boxing, kickboxing, all these other things, as opposed to highlighting what is different and unique about our sport.
Correct.
Right? Like there should be that is the draw. You cannot sit here and try and make it be something else, because that's everybody else will look at it as like, yo, that's sloppy X, Y, and Z. Right? Like when we look at that's just not just fighting, but it goes with forms too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's be realistic. Our best trickers would get destroyed if they did gymnastics.
Right.
Right? Like let's be realistic here. Like if it comes right down to it, and all of that, you know, the flips, like, yo, we go to that one corner, do the one flip, but there has to be something that it has to be something that is unique to us, that is we're doing, that has our twist on it, and we have to highlight that and celebrate it, not just try and actually do, you know, compare ourselves to something else, because we're not them. We shouldn't try and
can't ride their coattails. That's 100%. You can't ride their coattails when you're your own niche thing. Like
the best quote. Actually, my son Wesley told me this yesterday, and he was like, the best quote I saw was, "Stop trying to be the best and focus on being the only." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're trying to be the only, like that's a whole nother level, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're trying to be the best, we're trying to compare ourselves to what, and we're trying to be like someone else and just be a little better than them at what they already do. No,
correct. Which is why I make sure that we don't do anything that other channels do.
Exactly.
You got it.
Oh.
So
you set him up for that, Jeff. Y'all must have planned this.
but that's what it boils down to. I think more so with Karate Combat, they're going to have to find a way to establish themselves as being unique, because you just can't try and be the same thing that the other organizations are doing. You're not going to be UFC. You're not going to be Bellator. You're not going to be One. You're not going to be K1. You're not that. You're not. So if you're not trying to be that, be unique. It's hundreds of million people who do martial arts karate in the world.
Right.
That is a big enough market that you should be going after.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But if you try and go after the other markets and try and get people, boxing people are still going to look at it like, yo, why are they wearing them weird pants?
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you got to wear a belt. Like, I don't
it
get
sounds
it.
It sounds crazy, man. Even not saying boxing has completely adopted this, but it's found its own niche and now it's doing all right for itself as bare knuckle.
Right.
Like it found out what it was.
They pander to a crowd. They get their own following,
and it's like how we just said.
Growing.
It's their own. They are the only, and they're actually growing.
And now they're announcing because they said we're going to do bare knuckle Muay Thai, the traditional way.
Yeah,
and they went that way. So like in Thailand and stuff.
Sunshine, I think
it's the same. It's the same organization. They're just having Muay Thai fights.
That's right.
Because that's what
people. That goes back to Jeff's thing about being the only, right?
The only. Yes.
There is literally a league where two people stand in front of each other and slap the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
There's a thing.
Like that's not martial arts. That's not boxing. That's not. It's just some. I don't. It happened in. I think it was like Russia, something like that. They started up and they got on the internet.
Started there,
and then it just blew up, and everybody just wanted to see people get slapped. So that's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to try and be like another organization, or try to be something else. You just have to be unique and market to go after your market. Try and grow your market share.
Right.
And a lot of organizations just fall short on that. But so that's our time for Main Point, man. Because I don't know if you guys here for long. Because I know we can talk like this. We might do this every Thursday. I haven't decided yet, but if you guys are up for it, to do it and just talk about things that have nothing to do with sport karate and just stuff that goes on that we'll see. We say, hey, look, we're gonna talk about this on Main Point. We'll talk
about Cat Williams next.
All right, real quick. If there was they had to roast each other, who do you think would win between Cat Williams and Kevin Hart?
Cat.
Roasting,
as far as like
just sitting there, just
a roast battle,
tapping on each other, just telling jokes back.
I'm gonna say,
I think Kev will go. I think Kev will go the funny route and try to make punchlines and make the funny.
I was about to say that.
I think Cat will just go for the jugular and go.
He'll cut your heart out.
Yeah,
cut your heart out.
It's a different level.
Serve it to you. So like, if we're talking like a for real roast battle. Like if we were talking 6th grade roast battle, Cat would make Kevin cry.
Yeah, this is my thing. I was gonna say Kevin. But I was gonna say like he'll make it funny because everyone assumes Cat has so much material out there on him. Kevin would just do that because like I'll be honest, man. Like I'm starting to look at Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer differently. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's what you get when you sign up for the program.
I've seen Kevin go run through people roasting. He's going.
He's hilarious.
So
the way he attacks you is different. Cat,
it's a different. That's what I'm saying.
Cat is going literally like how Chris said, like he's just to stab you right there, done.
Cat, one of the Cat's biggest things that everybody was talking about yesterday was that like you said, Steve Harvey, right? Like we talking about his hair or whatever. Kevin said that 15 years ago. Like he was roasting, he used that in he was roasting Jamie Foxx's
on the Jamie Foxx
on the Foxhole. He was roasting him and he said how bad that was that Steve Harvey's hair or whatever, and he was talking about how it was a toupee. He said Jamie used the toupee as well, just like that. And he was talking about it, so it was hilarious. But I don't know. I'm probably I've seen Kevin go through people. I've only seen Cat roast like maybe a couple people. So I'm not really sure who went, but
because Kevin's funny on the way he does a celebrity roast,
right.
and then when he's on Wild 'N Out, like he's got punches that come out fast.
Yeah,
but like I said, I think Kevin is the I'm gonna make everybody laugh, and Cat's gonna try to hurt your feelings.
Cat's gonna try to hurt his feelings.
It depends on
And I don't know how the crowd would be more.
I don't think that would bother Kevin though. I think
right.
Kevin's status, I don't think it would really bother him. So like it would come down to the crowd. Honestly, at that point, the roast battle will come down to the crowd and who's got the bigger audience. It's
let's be honest. Let's be honest. If Kevin makes a joke that even cuts a little bit like Cat Williams, the crowd will not let Cat even talk. It'll be done.
Probably not, because Cat probably won't let Kevin talk as well too though. Right. I got a feeling that Cat will cut, so and then that the crowd will go crazy with Cat too. So I don't know, man. I think it'll be funny, but it will never happen. Because I think Cat asked him to do it a couple years ago, and Kevin just was like, "No, I'm not. There's no point." Because he just like, "No, I'm not putting."
It's his brand. He ain't got to ruin his brand over that. Why is it good?
Like it's no point. It's like other people in karate combat who don't want to fight other people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jeez. Dang.
Right. Podcaster Awesome is ready to go out. You know what I mean? All right, people. Maybe we'll see you next week if we feel like if we got something to talk about. If y'all want us to talk about something in particular, just go ahead and send it to
y'all want our opinions, come on and drop them.
Yeah, drop them. Send a message to one of us like, yo, they were talking about this. Y'all got to talk about this, and we'll put it on the docket and we'll bring it up and talk through some main point stuff. All right, people. Until next time, we will see y'all. Oh, make sure y'all Inside Scoop is back Monday.
We're back,
baby.
Chris, I got to talk to you because I'm curious if you're gonna shoot on Sunday. We're gonna talk about it after. But yeah, so yeah, Monday Inside Scoop. Fish Kicks and Flicks came out today. They were late. They didn't record like they were supposed to. Because somebody on this podcast didn't actually watch the movie they were supposed to watch.
My god!
Is that
so
rare?
They came out a day late. But it's out, so go out and watch that, and all that good stuff. So we'll talk to y'all next week, people. Make sure y'all keep supporting us, and we'll be back. Oh, and we probably gonna talk about Warrior Cup this next week, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, there'll be.
Hope y'all been training.
Yep.
Yeah, next weekend. I think that's that. So maybe we'll do something. I'm not gonna be there because it's too cold.
There's a lot.
It's 80 degrees down here in Florida.
We'll
see y'all.
Yeah, we'll have an Inside Scoop and we'll have an extra scoop after AKA as well.
Afterwards.
So
yeah, it's a lot. We still stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, share, follow, all that stuff. And I've been posting a lot more videos on YouTube, fights and forums, and it's a lot more stuff. Make sure y'all go to make sure you go here, martialartsinternetwork.com, MA-internetwork.com, just so y'all can see everything that we're doing. All right, we are out of here, people. Peace. Bye.